The Mother Road, the Road to Opportunity, and the continuously paved highway are just a few of the nicknames that have been given to Route 66 over the years. It's experienced countless travelers, hundreds of voyagers, and over millions of cars, trucks, and automobiles as the years have gone by. However, as much as this road has changed, been repaved, and been redrawn, the road has pretty much stayed the same. It has the same route, it winds and it curves throughout the hills and the valleys of the West and the Midwest, and it continually comes back to one place, our very own Springfield, Missouri. The headwaters of Route 66 and the birthplace of this highway are in our hometown. They're in our backyards. But some people are completely ignorant of this fact and don't know the rich history that belongs to Route 66 here in Springfield, Missouri. So this morning, I'd like to take you on a little journey and tell you about the birth of this famous highway, the history that it has in the whole United States, and the way that it plays a role in our lives here in Springfield, Missouri today. So, according to the National Historic Route 66 Foundation, the highway was the brainchild of Cyrus Avery from Oklahoma and John Woodruff of Springfield, Missouri. They came up with the highway as an idea to run from Chicago to Los Angeles as a continuous route that would lead across the majority of the United States. The reason that they thought of this highway was so that they could connect different smaller communities to the major communities that were in the country. When you think of Springfield, you might not think of it as a huge community. But for both of these individuals, it was very important that they connect Springfield to places such as St. Louis and Chicago and the rest of the points that were along the map. A very important aspect to be noted about the creation of the highway itself is that these two individuals actually started lobbying for the highway in 1915. However, the highway didn't actually begin construction in Springfield, Missouri until 1925. This is mainly because it took the two individuals a very long time to get it before Congress, and for Congress's actions to line up with their desire for a highway. Once the highway was created, the beginning of it did start here in Springfield, Missouri, on St. Louis Street, actually. Here is one of the first pictures that was actually taken of the highway at that time. Once the highway was created, it served as an awesome junction for farmers so that they could move produce and also kick-started the trucking industry in the United States. But farmers and truckers were not the only ones who benefited from this highway. John Steinbeck, in his book Grapes of Wrath, refers to this road as the Mother Road. The reason for this was because it provided safe transport for individuals during the Great Depression and during the Dust Bowl so that they could travel from the area of the plains that was affected by the Dust Bowl to the wonderland that was California at that time. It then served as a route for unemployed men to work on throughout the Great Depression. They would come and they would work on the highway, they would repave it, and they were assigned to keep up the maintenance of the highway itself. Additionally, it was the major artery that was used to mobilize men during World War II. Throughout the war, men who were moving across the United States would drive across Route 66 in order to reach their destinations for forts for basic training so that we could eventually defeat the Axis powers in World War II. And eventually, the only thing that Route 66 became used for was for getting your kicks on Route 66. But sadly, those kicks have ended, and no longer are there many, many tourist attractions along the way. Now we simply have ruins that sit in shadows of a highway that was once a major getaway point for most of America's middle class. Instead of having motels, you now have rundown buildings, and instead of awesome parks and different sorts of architectural attractions, we now have ruins. And it's kind of become a forgotten highway, and this is mainly due to the fact that we have newer and faster roadways throughout the United States. Instead of being so focused on the going, we have become more focused on the just getting there. So what does Route 66 have to offer us in Springfield? Well, here in Springfield, we do have the birthplace of the actual highway. The place where ground was broken in order to lay the asphalt and the cement actually rests on St. Louis Street in Springfield. Every year we have a festival to commemorate this in the fall on the actual day that construction began, back in 1925. We also have several different art fests that feature specific artwork that is designated to Route 66 itself. We also have what I believe an attitude of bringing back Route 66 is memorialized in. Today, I think a lot of the attitude of Springfield has become more so in enjoying the going instead of just the getting. What better way to honor the longest highway in the United States then to revitalize the attitude that brought across Route 66. And that was in going, not just in getting.
I am loving these. This is so interesting. All of these topics. I'm loving this. Are you guys enjoying this? This is pretty cool. And that makes so much sense with the past being focused on the going, not just the arriving and getting there. That is so much what we are now.
It was really interesting and kind of sad because I read some testimonials that talked about what it was like to travel Route 66, and it seemed like so much fun,
Yeah.
but we just became so much about getting there.
It's just a lot of art and just enjoying.
Yeah.
Cars, that's what that was all about.
Yeah.
Highway 10 coming through.
A friend of mine works at the visitor center on St. Louis, and she said that most of the people that come in there for information, they're coming in for information on Route 66 because they want to trace that. And a lot of them are not from the U.S. Yeah, a lot of international tourists.
I didn't realize that Route 66 was so important because my elementary school and my middle school sat on the part of the original Route 66, which was super cool. So in
Yeah.
5th grade, Cars had just came out, so we did that whole entire album of Life is a Highway or whatever. And it was
Yes.
really cool. On
Oh,
Route
wow.
66. It was
We
cute.
might want to do a little field trip and go down to St. Louis Street and see that.
We should,
And
that'd be
see
really cool.
some of the city of Springfield item, you know. I was thinking about that last week, that since this is our theme, it might be kind of fun to go see some things in Springfield. I don't know, anybody game for a field trip? Good. Me too. Me too. All right. Awesome. And I'm actually going to Fellows Lake Tuesday night with a girlfriend for a, I guess I'm joining a multi-sport type of organization since I'm not sporty, but we're going to do a run and bike ride. Some time out there. So I'm going to grab my fellow friend and go, just like Bree suggested. All right. Josh, what's new in your world?
What's new in my world?
Mm-hmm.
Going to St. Louis tonight.